All right. I am so excited to bring to you today an OG commercial guy. I mean, this guy is so OG, it doesn't get much more OG than Danny Wooten. Danny and I met back in LA back in like 99, 2000, somewhere like that. We ended up doing a Miller Lite spot together that was a whole lot of fun. And we just ran into each other in rooms left and right. And we're always like, hey, hey, hey. So now I get to bring to you the one and only Danny Wooten. Danny, thank you for being here, man. This is super, super exciting.
I'm glad to be here, Josh. Glad to be here, bro.
Thank you for taking the time and joining us. So as you know, this is Conversations with Working Actors. And one of the reasons I'm so excited to have you here is because you've been at this a long, long time. When did you get your start?
I got my start at 6 months old, man. That was my very first commercial, a Pamper commercial. I literally showed my butt to the world. Yeah, that's where it began.
It paid.
Yeah, and since then I've just been, on average, I average like 2 to 3 a year. I'm also a professional tap dancer. But, not a lot of
earlier too, which I want to get into that because it's so important for us actors to have different avenues of expression. That you spent so much time on the road as a professional tap dancer, I had no idea.
Yeah. I started tapping when I was 3 years old, just at the local dance school in Queens, and my mom put me into everything. I took all ballet, tap, jazz, African drums, everything in that particular dance school, which is called Gloria Jackson Dance School in Queens. And then I took an interest in tap more than anything. So my mom therefore took me to Manhattan to a tap master named Henry Wooten. And he taught Gregory Hines, he taught Savion Glover, he taught a lot of people. So he took me under his wing and taught me a lot. And yeah, that started my tap career. Simultaneously, I was always still acting, and I did a lot of theater. I did a lot of off-Broadway. I did a lot of Broadway. Tap Dance Kid, I did the workshop for that. Black and Blue on Broadway, Riverdance. Yeah, so theater and dance and theater is something I've always done since the little kid.
So what was it about tap that just caught your passion? And like, was it like a gradual thing? Was it just like, oh my God, this is it, I have to do this? What was your experience like with tap?
Well, I always had a thing for music. I always had a thing for the drum. Like I said, when I was in the dancing school and in Queens, I learned how to play the African drums. And simultaneously, I was being taught tap. And so I just like I can drum with my feet, And my mother wouldn't let me get a drum set in the house.
I don't blame her.
She drew the line. That's where she drew the line. So I was like, all right, let me see what the tap. I could still make a lot of noise with that, So, and I don't need a drum. Right so on. I became the drum,
So where did tap take you?
Tap showed me, because dealing with Henry Wooten, he's the OG of all OGs. He comes from an era where everybody did everything, as an entertainer. It wasn't just, I'm an actor. or I'm a dancer only.
Right.
That was unheard of. It was, you're an entertainer and you must encompass all of this as, you know, to be a complete entertainer. So, and especially the vibe in New York at that time, you had to be prepared and ready for everything, you know. Yeah, that started, and seeing a lot of the older hoofers, the older tap dancers, you know, growing up around uh, Sammy Davis Jr. and the Nicholas brothers and Jimmy Slide, Buster Brown, uh, all of these tap dancers I had access to. And the more I heard their stories, the more I became interested in the art,
Mm.
you know.
So when did you decide that you were gonna turn away, not turn away, but you were maybe gonna step away from tap and really focus on acting?
Like I said, they were both at the same time. It's just like sometimes if I book something, like if I book a Broadway show, you know, I would have to step away from, you know, from acting for a little second.
Yeah.
But it was never forgotten. You know, it's just like as soon as I got an opportunity, that show ended, back to acting. You know, you know, because I can't stay away from that too long. You know, because
Right.
I started with that first. That's acting is it's really my first love. You know,
Is it?
tap for me is more of a spiritual thing. Like I love being on stage and everything, but I could just be in a room by myself tapping, and spiritually that would do me good, right? Just that alone, you
Yeah.
know.
It's
You
it
know.
sounds like it's that really personal expression.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like I can really express who I am at that particular moment in time. If I'm angry, I can go in a room, put some tap shoes on, turn all the lights out, and let all of the steam out. You know, that type of thing.
Growing up, I would look at Gregory Hines and I would just go, how can a man be so beautiful? And then I would see Savion Glover and I'd be like, he just upped it, you know,
But
and
see, speaking of Greg, that he was a huge, and like knowing him as well, he was a huge inspiration to to let me know that I can do both at the same time.
yeah,
You know, because for a long time there hasn't been a tapper that can act as well. You know what I mean?
right.
And you know, we have the, like I said, we have our OGs, but you know, historically within the generations, you know, that got lost after a lot of the hoopers start dying out.
Mm.
It became, all right, I'm just a tapper now, you know, or I'm just going to be an actor, So Greg inspired me to like, hey man, I can do both and kill the game in both, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, and to have access like that to one of the greats. I mean, Greg was the guy that I grew up seeing on TV.
Yeah.
And it was just like this guy moves with such beauty and such grace and such finesse and style. And the thing that
And
I
such
love,
a good person, and to be a good person on top of that, it's an added plus. He's an amazing person.
that's what it
Amazing
always
person.
seemed like. He always, there was a joy that came out of him that was just tangible.
Yeah. And
And
it was very, it was no act. you
that's so
know.
good to hear, because a lot of times people have their public persona and then they have their who they are when the camera's not on. And so to hear that that's who he was is just, it's just wonderful.
Let me tell you what type of person Greg is. We did this show in Manhattan, right? And I was supposed to be leaving for the next day to Arkansas to go do this Broadway workshop called "If These Shoes Could Talk," and he was like, you leaving out tomorrow? I was like, yeah. I was like, man, it would be great if you could have been there to, opening night is, for opening night and everything. He was like, oh, so where is it? He asked me information, and he was like, okay, I'll see about coming there. Yeah, I'll see about going. And I just looked at him like, okay, yeah, Greg, all right, you're a busy man. I know he means well and everything. I was like, you're not gonna make it.
Right.
Opening night in Arkansas, I get a tap on my shoulder. Great show, buddy. And yeah, and he just the fact that he took it time out of his schedule to come and make opening night to support meant a lot. That's what type of dude Greg was.
And I bet he got as much a kick out of doing that for you as you did at turning around and seeing that there's Greg.
Yeah. Wow. It was like, first I was like, oh, I hope I did a good performance because I didn't know he was in the audience, But he told me I did great, and that made it even better,
Wow.
It's like you taking a couple of shots and Michael Jordan walks up,
So you moved to LA in '99. What have you gotten a chance to tap much since you've been in LA?
Yeah, well, like I said, I did Fame LA. I did that for one season. Done a lot of teaching here.
Cool.
When I first got here, that was, to keep the bills paid and everything. I taught at a few dance schools and everything. And between that, I was flying in and out, still teaching master classes.
Oh, wow.
Internationally. So, that kept me fed for a while. And then when things start to get slow in that category, I was like, hey, I gotta turn the heat up somewhere else, so start booking a few commercials and start, seeing the income residuals from that, so again, that felt good, and I haven't seen the residuals for a while. So I was like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me turn the heat up in this arena.
Yeah.
So a brother won't have to go and wait some tables or something like that.
I won't tell you how long I did that. I did that a long time.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that did that for a long time, and and it kind of I was watching them, because it kind of takes away from their career, a little bit,
Yeah.
So that's what made me want to be like, I want to do something that, number one, I'm familiar with, and that won't occupy all my time while I'm seeking my theatrical career. You know what I mean?
So this is conversation with the working actors, of course. Was there a time that you kind of thought, oh my gosh, I'm now a working actor? Or I mean, you've been working since you came out of the womb. So was there a time as an adult where it dawned on you that, oh, I'm actually making this happen? Or was this just always what you did?
What do you mean as far as booking and working? Just
Yeah, like working consistently.
I think it's just my drive.
Mm.
Just people come out here all the time, and they're like, their first block in their head is like, oh my God, there's so many people doing this. It's like standing in a long line, you know what I mean, to get in somewhere.
Yeah.
My first instinct has always been, I'm not standing on that line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me go to the front and see if I know anybody at the door.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Or let me cruise the line and see if I have any friends in line, and I could just, hey, you know what I mean?
Thanks for holding my spot.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at this business, you know. So immediately you have to ask yourself, what do I have that nobody else has?
Mm.
What would casting be? You know, because I worked in casting as well.
Oh,
And have you
I've done a
have
little.
you?
I've run
Yeah,
a handful of sessions for commercials and been a part of some
yeah,
shorts and that sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah. Me too. And but it was golden for me,
Yeah.
so I can see the other side and and see what these directors, producers, and casting directors and ad agencies are looking for.
Mm.
You know, so I got to sit there on a whole bunch of auditions and callbacks and see what works and what doesn't work, and you know, things like how important the slate is. I've witnessed people. Hi, my name is Danny Wooten, and they're like, all right, fast forward, skip that guy.
Yeah.
Can't get any better than that. If he's not excited about his name, it can't be any better. So yeah, so just learning like little jewels like that, you know, help me differentiate myself from every other actor that was coming in. And and seeing, like, when you get some sides, right?
Mhm.
And you look at it, I believe that a lot of people go off of their first choices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get an understanding what's going on in the scene. They say, oh, that's the joke. Okay, bam, got it. Bam, let's go. No, no, because what happens is you're gonna look like everybody else because everybody's gonna pick that one choice.
That's right.
Everybody's gonna pick that one choice. So what's making you stand out
Mm.
as an actor? What is gonna bring attention to you? What makes you any different than the people that's being auditioned in LA, Chicago, New York, and now Atlanta?
Mhm.
So what makes you stand out? So I think you have to find that within yourself, knowing yourself first,
Right.
and not going for the first option of choices that you have. Me, I go in with an arsenal. You know, if you have 5 minutes to look over the sides, that's 5 minutes you need to be coming up with your ammo.
Mm.
Go in the room because they throw stuff at you all the time. So you don't just have that one choice. You
Mm.
know, you got this. So if they throw something at you, oh, that one choice didn't work. So if you only had that one choice and that one choice didn't work, you're
You're out.
lost.
Yeah.
You're lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
So
No, you're hitting it on the head. This is exactly why I'm doing this, because I want the people I know to be able to back up all the things that I'm telling my students right now. This is it. You've got to stay light and nimble, and you got to be able to zig when they say zig and zag when they say zag.
and just be prepared, man. Be prepared for anything they throw at you. You know, that time you sitting in the room. Well, now they're just getting back to in persons now. I just went out on 3 in persons again, and that felt good.
Yeah, I bet
Uh,
that felt good. Nothing like being in the room,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. I mean, I do like self tapes though. A lot
Yeah.
of people hate them, but I do like self tapes for the simple fact I can put out my best performance.
Mm.
You know, I can sit around because you know sometimes you go in the room and even though you had those 5 options, you'll leave the room like, damn, I should have. If I, oh man, I should have did that. That would have been funny. But yeah, but self-tape, you got all day to figure all of that stuff out,
Yeah,
and plan. Yeah.
yeah, that's so true. So what is it that separates you?
Um, I think I think it's just being myself, man. I can't. Well, I can't put a finger on it too. I go in the room, and it's that happy medium of being humble and being confident. You're
Mm,
not being too overly confident to where it comes across as cocky, or too humble where you're not attacking your character the way you're supposed to be. You know what I mean?
right,
You're a little shy with it, like a little reserved and playing it safe, you
right.
know. But I think it's just me being me. Like I go into the room and I try to have the best time for me. You know what I mean? Me personally. If I think something is funny, I'm just gonna go there with it, and you're gonna have to pull me back. You're gonna have to pull me back. And I think it's, I don't know, my humor, just like understanding a joke and and translating it. Um, I think it comes across as real natural instead of actory. Delivering a line like an actor would. You know what I mean? And instead, I want to make it seem as relatable as possible. You
Mm.
know?
Do you
Yeah,
have a specific process for achieving that? Or at
yeah, I
this
do.
point, is you do? Okay. What is that process?
Well, I would say now I do, because before I had a process, but I was just doing me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I really wasn't paying attention to what I was doing to book so much. You know, it wasn't until I got a little older to say, okay, oh, I'm doing this because of that, and really getting the understanding of why I do certain things. And as I began teaching, you know, I wanted to because there is structure. I just didn't, you know, I wasn't following it like, planning everything out before I went in the room. I was just going with the flow and being me.
Right.
So now that I have understanding of it, it's easier for me to translate to my students and to everything. So I think my process is, as soon as I get the sides, just breaking it down. I don't care if it's 2, 3 lines or whatever. I'm breaking that scene down to the nitty gritty, to the bare bones, and I'm seeing, because our job is not just to do what's on the page.
Mhm.
I believe it's to add. Even if we have good writing, you see a good script, there's a good joke in there, or it's a good moment, a heartfelt moment, or whatever it is the case may be. Um, that you really have understanding of the scene first.
Mm.
And once you have understanding of the scene, you you can begin. It's like having a blank canvas. Your understanding is the sketch, and then you start adding your coloring in.
Mm.
And like all artists, you got to know when to stop as well. To know when that painting is complete. You know what I mean? And you don't need to tweak it anymore. You know what I
That's
mean?
yeah, that's key. Cause I think so many of us approach this craft from maybe a perspective of kind of lack, you know, like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not, I need to manufacture something. I need to create something because I don't have what it takes. Um, and it's very common to see people just like do more and more and more and more. And it's like, whoa, 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 you're good. You're good. Just be real, be honest, and that's enough.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. And to that confidence is really important in acting. You know, if you don't have it, if you don't have a certain understanding of self, I believe it's going to be complicated to. How can you identify with another character when you can't truly identify with yourself?
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I
So
do.
how can you understand your character's pain if you don't understand your own pain?
Right.
You know what I mean? How can you understand your character's happiness and you won't allow yourself to be happy? And that's going to come across in that scene.
Mm,
You know what I mean? That you're not relating to that character. You
right.
know, you're doing the scene, you're acting, but it would be better if you can if you can relate
Mm.
on a spiritual level with that. But a lot of people won't allow themselves to go deep within themselves, so they can't go deep with their character at all. You know,
Ha- did you grow up with a pretty good sense of your emotional self, or did that take time to understand? I know for men, it can be really, really hard to kind of go, I'm feeling something. I just can't put the words to it. I know I've felt that way from time to time in my life. And so at times I found myself, and depending on the scene or the needs of the character, kind of going, how am I going to approach this? I'm not quite sure what this is. Is that something that you
are you
uh,
saying because you can't relate to this particular character because you
perhaps?
know you don't
Yeah.
have experience in that arena or something like that?
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah. And that, you know, very often men have a hard time identifying their emotions. I
Yeah.
think for many reasons we're taught not to not to know them, not to express them, not to really get comfortable with them.
Mhm.
Is
Mhm.
that talk to me about that for you? How is that process?
I think that does. I think that does affect us all as actor. I think now in this period, I can identify with many different types of people and what they're going through than when I was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, even with me, and I like to think I was a real confident kid growing up and real sure of who I was. But then I wasn't ready for a couple of daggers that life had to throw at me. You know what I mean? Which kind of broke my confidence down and made me unsure of myself. Therefore, making me not sure of my acting.
Mm,
And it wasn't until I was going out on auditions and I was thinking that I was doing the same thing that I was doing before, but I've had casting directors coming to me like, Danny, are you okay?
oh wow.
Because it doesn't seem like you're in it today. Where's Danny at? And I'm
Right.
like, what are you talking about? I'm here. Like one time after my father passed
Mm,
in 2001, after I got back from the funeral and all of that or whatever, I tried to say to myself, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just going to hop back into it, you know, and I need to stay busy, you know." But I wasn't fine, you know. I wasn't okay. People were noticed. Casting directors was noticing. So then I had to step back and say, "Okay, I'm not fine. I actually have to deal with this before, you know, I can go back on another audition," because I felt like I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting the casting director's time if I'm not giving my best.
Mm.
So I need to take this time out to get myself situated so I can get back there. You know what I mean?
So what did you do during that time?
Spiritual work, you know, get back to praying, meditating, uh, talking to myself, understanding where this pain was coming from,
Yeah.
you know, uh, and documenting it too, so I can use that. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Your life experiences, not, not only that you've experienced personally, but things that you see other people going through. You know, you need to record that. You know what I mean? You need to analyze that and and study that. Like, you know, especially if it's something that you personally never been through, but you see somebody close to you going through it.
Mm.
You can record that because that might come up in a scene one day, and you can pull that and say, "Hey, this was so and so was going through. I can identify with that now." You know, I
So
think you're a better actor. I think you're a better actor the more you've lived and allowed yourself to live and experience, because you can put all of that when the script comes and you're like, oh, this type of character. Okay, I'm familiar with that. I can pull that from the files. That's my cousin went through this, and I know that whole story. So I can just become my cousin on on this particular topic and
that's
use that to build my character.
so how do you document that? Is it zooming like this and holding on to the
It's
meeting?
just up here,
Okay.
file wise.
Okay.
I'm always like I go to the grocery store and I'll see somebody that's an interesting being to me, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna use that one day. It may just be the way she said hi. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, that's hilarious. I'm gonna use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To pull to that's what I love to do, is just pull from real life experiences and try to make it as real as possible.
So that requires you to be an observer.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I think that's part of being an actor, is being an observer. You
I
know?
think a lot of folks have forgotten that, and that it
Yeah.
becomes so self-focused that it's like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to create this character, and I have to, right? As opposed to, all right, let me sit with this and let me just observe the people around me. It's one of the things I love about traveling is getting to sit down,
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I love about traveling.
right?
Yeah.
Sitting
Yeah.
down in a place and just watching the locals do their thing and going, wow,
Hmm.
okay, I never would do that. Why? I just wasn't my
That's what I mean by record. That's why I like record. Like, it's just, why did he do that?
yeah.
You know?
You've been killing it in commercials for years. What do you love about commercials?
I love the fact that just for one day I can just go and play, and I just love being on set, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, it's a great chance for 1 or 2 days, sometimes, maybe even three, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, to chill with, just like when we did that Miller Lite, it's great to be on set with other talented actors
Yeah.
and just bug out and get paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the best commercial gig you ever had?
Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I would have to say the one that sticks with me is I did a Coca-Cola commercial with Michael Jordan.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. And we got a chance to spend a week with him.
Wow. How was that?
Man, it was, it was like at the height of his career, and man, we flew to Chicago because we had to do it around his busy schedule. So it was like whenever he was available. We were there for a week shooting this commercial. So we shoot a little bit every day. But we had to be on set just in case he showed up. Everybody was ready to go.
Oh, it was that like
that's how a baller he is. And when Mike comes, then it's time to work. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
wow.
So, but he came to set every day in a brand new, well, not brand new, but it was new to us. Like a Lamborghini one day, a Ferrari one day, and he would start the day off by giving us rides, the kids, in his cars. So he'll take us and he'll ride us up the block and ride us around the corner, and then he'll come back and then we'll start work. Or sometimes he would, we would throw the football around. There was one time where we wanted to play basketball with him really bad. We just wanted. So he took us, we walked up the block. It was in a neighborhood in Chicago. He saw a hoop in somebody's driveway. He knocked on the door. The lady came. She was just like, hi, Michael Jordan. He was like, oh, we was wondering if we could just use your hoop and everything. She was like, oh, yeah, of course. And then she told her kids to come, and we played with her kids and Michael Jordan and the rest of the kids in the cast. It was a great day. It was a great week. It was a great, and not only that, he hooked us up with sneakers after that, and he hooked me up with All-Star tickets, to NBA All-Star tickets for like 4 seasons.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I received free sneakers from Nike for almost 6 or 7 years.
They just show up in the mail.
Yeah. Or I'll call and I get the new Jordans like 5 months before they come out. And I'm like the only one in New York wearing the Jordans before they come out on sale. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was one of the great ones. That was one of my best ones.
What'd you learn from him?
I learned that you can be a mega, mega, mega star like Michael Jordan and still be cool as hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just liked his style, the way he was with everybody on set, the way he was with the kids. He knew this was like an unbelievable thing for us, and he made sure that we had the best experience. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So did he kind of get down on your level as a kid?
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I was just like, I was that kid that was always popping jokes, and he just thought I was a funny kid. Like he was always just like, hey, where's that kid? Come here. He just wanted to hear me talk. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, this kid do you hear what's coming out of this kid's mouth? That type of thing. And another, my partner that was in the commercial, he was funny as hell too. So he just wanted to hear our back and forth banter with each other. And his mom was on the set as well. Michael Jordan's mom was she was in the commercial. And she loved us as well. But yeah, it was a great experience, man.
Wow.
Great experience.
Who are your biggest influences as an actor, as an artist, as a creative?
Like I said, Greg was a huge influence to me. To be honest, man, it is a lot of my peers, a lot of friend actors of mine that have paved the way, that were kind of like doing their thing in LA before I came out, you know, because when I came here with Riverdance, they were already on shows and doing things. And I was like, hey, you know, it inspired me to like, I need to get back in this too. I need to get back in the game. So yeah, I mean, a lot of course, there are actors that are huge that have inspired me, like, you know, your Denzels
Mm.
and your Brad Pitts and you know, other actors like that that people, you know, normally go to. But for me, it's a lot of my peers. It's a lot of fellow actors, and I feel like I've done the same for them and to help inspire each other to keep going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To not hate on each other when we see each other doing something, but say, if my boy is doing that, I could do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do this together. You know what I mean?
Amen. Yeah. That I think is, I see a lot of competition in actors on the come up, and it's something I don't understand.
I know people say it, but I really don't believe in competition. I believe what's for you is for you.
Yeah.
You know, you see a lot of people doing little shady things when people are going to auditions to distract other people. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so, you know, let me just talk to him a little bit longer so he won't study his sides. You know what I mean?
Right. What is so? What do
You know,
what do you keep out of that headspace, or when did you become aware of that headspace? Or like, ooh, I don't want to go down that road. I want to go down this road.
a couple, you know, trial and error, you know, going on an audition and somebody, as soon as you walk in, they come up to you, hey, how you doing? And we're gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions or whatever, and then they got to go in because they're going in next, and they go in, and then you go in after, and you utilize your time to prepare and get comfortable in the room to talk to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I see, and that guy booked it, so it's like, okay, I see what never again. When I go in, I'm not talking to nobody until I'm comfortable and prepared to go into that room. You know what I mean?
Right.
So cats come up to me, but I'm like, hey, what's up, man? All right, all right. Hey, I'll talk to you in a second. All right, cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm here for a job. I'm like, you know, even if I see a friend or whatever, it's just like, hey, what's up? All right, you know, I'll call you after. You know, and after I finish my auditions, I'll call my friend and then we could talk, you know.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm trying to get a job.
How do you prepare for a read? If so, now that we got in-person reads coming back in LA and New York, and I don't know that we'll ever really get them in Atlanta, because Atlanta is almost entirely self-tape. But how do you prepare for those reads mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically?
First, you know, I explain, you know, people think just because like we're OGs that we don't get nervous. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I get nervous, but it's just not like everybody else's nerves.
Right.
First of all, I like to take those nerves and use it for me, not against me. You know, because nerves can be helpful. It lets you know still that there's something at stake here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, but you can't let it rule you. You know, you can't let it gain control of you. So what I do on the way to the audition, I'm trying to calm myself down, talk to myself. Uh, you know, I play some jazz or, you know, something soothing. Unless it's something like high energy, then you know, then I'll put a little biggie on or something like that, you know. uh, just to get in that zone and that mind frame, you know, and to relax. And I try to get there early so I can get comfortable with the environment, you know. Because sometimes you get to an audition, like those times where you have to arrive and go straight in because you're a little bit later. It doesn't give you time to brush off the nerves, calm your soul,
Right.
remind yourself of your notes, your beats, and your choices, and talk to yourself. I talk to myself like, hey man, you know what I mean? You got this, you know, you good. Oh, why are you so, you know, I'm talking to like I had a best friend right next to me, like, you know, hey man, come on, you got this, calm down. And sometimes I actually do have a friend that's doing this, that's saying this. You know, my father used to be a good inspiration. You know, I used to call him before my audition, and he used to big my head up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey man, no, you're the best out there, man. No, but you don't know nobody. You already got this. I don't know what you're worried about. You got it already. You know.
That's awesome.
So that's the type of things I tell myself, you know, before I go in. So, you know, I'm prepared. I don't like going in the room all frazzled and, you know, just came from looking for a park and running in, and I got to make sure my hair is okay and all of that, you know. So I like to get there, settle in, and yeah, just prepare myself mentally.
Yeah. Jazz. I love that you brought up jazz because I'm a huge jazz fan, and I feel that,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I was a vocal jazz major in college.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah, yeah. And for me, I feel like jazz and acting are really mirror images of one another. And that, if you and I are playing a scene, we agree that this is the scene we're going to do. We agree that this is the song we're going to play. And then
Hmm.
we're going to play the hook. And then it's going to be your
Hmm.
turn. And you get to do what you do and say what you say.
But see,
And
the good thing is about jazz is their structure,
yes,
but it gives you freedom as well
yes, yes.
to improv and but it's the same piece that
Yes.
you made. I mean, hey, it may be A Train, you know what I mean? But a one band group will make it sound totally different and add a whole new life to it than the next band will,
That's
you know,
right.
the next trio, you know? So yeah, it's a lot like acting though.
Yeah. I recommend jazz to actors all the time. And a lot of them are like, what? Jazz? Who listens to jazz? And I'm like, a lot of people
Yeah,
be-
a lot of people.
for a reason, for a very, very good reason, you know. Um, I
Mhm.
have I have a very specific question for you. Let me get my glasses
But
here.
before me ask that,
Yes, sir.
for those that's listening out there, I think it's important to not forget spirit, soul,
Mm,
who you truly are in the acting. I think we get too lost in these characters and I have to be something other than myself, you know, to bring a character out. I think it starts here. It starts inside. It starts internally, you know, and then we bring that out into the scene. You know what I mean?
amen. Amen. It's
If that makes any sense to
no, I think it does because I think we love the concept of a character, and everybody loves the idea of getting in, creating this character, and who doesn't want to be Viola, or who doesn't want to be Sean Penn, or who doesn't want to be Meryl Streep. These brilliant, brilliant people who create these characters, but I feel like those kinds of actors are pretty few and far between.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I'm not
yeah,
Sean Penn. I would love to have that ability, but I think that ability starts, like you said, with a knowledge of self. And
yeah.
What
And
do
Sean Penn definitely knows himself, and you can see that on screen.
That's right.
That Sean Penn is a great example. He's always been himself. People like Denzel. Denzel, you can see Denzel in every role, but you get lost sometimes. Like you forget that it's Denzel, but he conveys himself. He starts with him first.
Right.
How would I, even if he's playing a different person that let's say that he's never had experience in, he engulfs himself into that, but the interpretation is from him, not trying to be somebody else. It's like, how would Josh react if he was a bank robber? You know what I mean? Yeah, like you can be Josh, but just a bank robber, and implement, things that a bank robber would do to Josh.
Right.
Not the other way around, kind of. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You know,
I really
that's
like
more method.
with Roman. Was it Roman J. Israel Esquire? I got to look this up.
Yeah.
Now it's killing me.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I know what role you're talking about.
Yeah. And it was so not who I've come to know Denzel to be. And it was so different and it was so interesting. I mean, I could watch him read the newspaper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was so different for him. Yeah, Roman J. Israel Esquire. It was.
That's the thing. He brings so much life to just reading a newspaper.
Right. Right.
But that's what I mean about the thought. Like no matter how, if you have one line, make that the best freaking one line ever. You know what I mean? Don't just say, oh, I just got one line. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna. No, I'm trying to get these people to give me more lines. Number one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or another job. You know what I mean? So yeah, I want them to say, yeah, he killed that one line.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I had a student come in once and he had one line and he was kind of taking the same approach, like, oh, it's just one line. And I was like, wait a minute, but this human being that you're going to play has a life and grew up and was raised by parents or in the foster system or in an orphanage, or you get to decide what that human being's life experience is.
Yeah.
But it has to be real. It has to be honest. And because if we just throw away the one line as though, oh, it's only one line, then why do we care?
How about there's more to acting than just words, than just speaking? There's a lot that can be said without talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot that can be said. There's many different emotions that you can convey without talking.
Right.
There's things you could do before you even say your line. There's blocking that you can do before you say your line. That's what I tell my students on things, because like we've talked so many times about the one line thing, and it's just one line. I'm just gonna no. And then when I show them all the things that you can do with just one line, like I said, the blocking, the choices, and things you can do before you even speak. It's to paint the picture of your environment, especially if you're doing a self-tape, right? Because I like to make my audience feel like they're there. Instead of, we see this now on self-tapes, we just see the blank background, and it's hard for people to see that where the setting is. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in your kitchen on the and you're doing a scene and you're self-taping, some students that send me their self-tape, and I'm like, where are you? I'm in the kitchen. Well, I can't tell that you're in the kitchen.
Right. Right. What are you doing that's going to tell me that you're in the kitchen?
Right. You have many things that you could do in the kitchen. Are you making breakfast? Are you making a sandwich? Are you doing dishes? Are you know, there's tons of stuff that you can be doing, but it's not, they didn't say that in the scene.
Right.
Why does everything have to be spelled out for you? You're the creator. Yes, you have the writer. He came up with the idea, but it's your job to make that a reality.
Mm.
Those is your job to make those words real. So that's your job to make it. He already told you where you are.
Right.
The writer told you you're in the kitchen. You're talking to your wife and your son. Okay. What does that look like?
Right.
Don't just stand there and say your lines. I don't even see a proper eye line. Where's your wife? Where's your son? Where have you put them on your eye line?
Mm.
Oh man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You can't look into the camera and the whole time, or I have to see this. You have to make the viewer feel like, wait a minute, I felt like I was in the kitchen for a second.
Right.
You know what I mean? I felt like he was really eating a croissant.
So what do you do to get there? What do you do to make that real for you?
The first thing I do is I say, how would somebody do this for real? And if the scene's in the kitchen, I'll actually go in the kitchen and kind of like envision the whole thing.
Mm.
Because it's like, if you don't see the vision in your head, then then it's gonna come across. You don't have a vision. You know what I mean? So the first thing I ask myself, the where, when, how. You know what I mean? What am I looking to get out of this scene? Or what is the other character or the other characters want from me? Who am I? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who really am I? And they said, what type of person am I? How do I feel about what they just said? Before I even start acting, I'm asking myself all of these questions as I'm reading the script. And the first thing I do is just get understanding of the situation, or what's going on, where I am.
Mm.
Where I am is always important to me, because it determines a whole lot of what goes into a scene. So once I'm aware of my surroundings and what I want, then I'll start breaking the scene down as far as flow and rhythm.
Mm.
Because as you know, there's many ways to say different things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a line like, I don't know. I don't know what a dog is. I don't know. I don't know what a dog is. I don't know. I don't know what a dog. You know what I mean? There's many different ways you can say that. Are you frustrated that
Right.
she's asking you? Is this the first time she asked you about the damn dog?
Right.
These are questions I'm asking myself as I'm just starting with that first line. You know what I mean? And take it line for line. And then I do something which is I call keywords.
Mm.
Words that you stress more than others to get your point across. Like, I don't know. Right there, I choose no to stress no as a keyword.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know where the dog is. You know what I mean? You can stress any words, and that adds a certain rhythm and flow and cadence to what you're saying.
Right.
So once you have, for me, once I have my understanding of what's going on the scene and what I'm doing and my objective, I can start playing around with the rhythm and flow of it. You know, that works for me.
I think so many actors don't realize that they have the freedom to experiment. I think a lot of actors feel that there is a right way to do things and that there's a wrong way to do things. And certainly there are less effective ways of doing things and more effective ways of doing things. But as you said, we can say that line in a half a dozen different ways and add nuance to the scene, add nuance to the relationship of the character who's speaking and the character who's being spoken to, add nuance to the situation. And I think when we realize our own sovereign creative nature, that you, Danny Wooten, are a sovereign artist. You are your own artist with your own perspectives, your own life experiences, your own opinions, your own philosophies. And when your philosophy and everything that you are comes up against me in the scene, and we have differing philosophies, boom, that's when fun happens.
Yeah, exactly. So that good kind of funk, that good funk.
That's right. What are they? The good trouble, the good kind of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And that's what's magical about this whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like when we work together, you know, it's like when you have other actors that's on that same page with you.
Yeah.
And they're free, you know, and they're not stuck on this, you know, typical way of thinking,
Right.
you know, actors should be,
Right.
you know.
Right.
It's magical. It's like jazz musicians jamming with each other, you know. We all know the piece, but we all improvising and jamming, and we all meet up at the same place, and then we make this magic happen. You know what I mean?
So true. It's so true.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you get me all geeked
But we
out.
know what we do.
So, okay. So you get into this business. I mean, you grew up in it. You get to a point where you're approaching it as an adult, because it's one thing to do it as a kid. You show up, you're cute. They go, he's got the right butt for our Pampers. He's perfect. You know, you go on, you
have a nice butt. I still have a nice butt. So
well, I didn't want to go there, but you know, I'm that's all right.
Out there.
Claim it.
No.
So what do you wish somebody would have told you about this work, about this life? Because you are, like you said, you're like OG. You started younger than me. I started when I was 5. You started when you were a few months old, and you've been doing it now for years. What do you wish somebody would have told you that you had to find out for yourself, perhaps the hard way?
Good question. One of the main things I found out, Josh, was that as bad as I've been seeking this acting career my whole life and trying to reach my goal, there's more to life than acting. And I think to be a good actor, I think you have to enjoy your life and not to make everything dependent on your career. There's your career, and then there's your life. You know what I mean? And those two shouldn't merge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think too many people, you know, they're an actor 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that I think that can cause, for me, I'm speaking from experience, being that I was in the business so long, I began to think that that's all my life is. It's just entertainment. And I, I only have to surround myself with entertainers and, you know, and everything I do must be entertainment, you know, but I believe that hinders you even as an actor because, like I said before, unless you're in touch with yourself spiritually, you know, I don't think that will convey well as an actor, you know, if you're not in touch with self. So I would say I had to learn to to concentrate more on self and put more focus on self, and the rest will follow. You know.
That's beautiful. I that's beautiful. And I think you've summed it up in a way that a lot of people don't sum it up. You know, it's to have that separation. I know for me at times it was like, yeah, I'm an actor. That's what I do. That's who I am. That's everything that I am. And to find, oh, wait, I can also be a rock climber. Oh, I can also fly fish or garden or paint or write or
Yeah.
what, you
What
know?
else am I capable of besides acting? And all those things can help you with your acting. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just don't, and not only that, there's just like those are things for self, and then there's your family, and then there's your friends, and you know what I mean. There's traveling. There's so much to life more than just what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That can contribute to what you do. You know what I mean? The more you live, I think the better actor you will be.
Mm. What was there anything that you did that you were like, oh man, I would never do that, but you know what? I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna experience something totally outside my realm of understanding, and I'm just gonna open myself up to something totally different.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I like to think of myself as an open person. I've never really been that closed. Um, I'm open to new experiences. I crave new experiences. Um, I don't like the norm. I, you know, I don't like getting on a routine that I feel stuck in. You know,
Mhm.
the moment I feel that way, I want to branch out and take a new chance or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. What do you do to keep yourself fresh and to keep yourself what other creative endeavors? I mean, I know you've got dance, I know you've got theatrical, TV, commercial. What else is inside you?
Well, now, Josh, I'm really digging the teaching thing, man.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I'm really digging that, and I want to move in the direction of directing.
Really?
Yeah, like the last 3 years, I've really been trying to. I'm working on a project right now to I'll be directing my first project. Um, I've directed a few commercial specs already.
Oh, have you?
Uh, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So, um, yeah, man, I'm enjoying the teaching and wanting to move into the directing because I'm realizing how much I do know.
hmm.
From all these years of being on sets and everything. The more I teach, I'm like, man, you know a little something.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you all right? Okay, all right. And and that's making me want to move into, you know, the directing, because I'm most of the time I'm on a set and I'm working with these young directors and everything, and I'm like, in my head I'm predicting what's going to happen before the director says it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I know next we're gonna do this shot, and and the director's, all right, we're turning around to this shot, and I'm like, knew it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, I think I can do this, man. I think I can direct.
Oh, I have no
So yeah,
doubt. I have no doubt. You've been at this longer than anybody I know who's our age,
yeah, yeah,
and that's saying
yeah.
something.
I've always wanted to direct, but I was intimidated by it. You know what I mean? But now I feel more confident. The more I'm teaching, the more confident I'm getting in that arena. So yeah, just trying to take things to the next level, and I want to create my own projects. You know, have my my production company, Born A King Entertainment, and we have scripts. I have a little writing team, and we're trying to bang them out and get these projects funded,
Right on. Right on.
along with a few unscripted that we're shopping to networks right now as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about being an actor of color. You've been at this for a long, long time.
Yeah.
What changes have you seen? Are they changes for the better? Are they changes for the worse? I ask
Yeah.
this, of course, out of ignorance because I only have my own experience, which is limited.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
help
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
understand your experience some more.
Um, with all honesty, um, it's changed. It's gotten better.
Mhm.
It's gotten better, but like right now, I'm struggling. I find it hard to believe that with my resume and experience and time in this business, that it's hard for me to find a theatrical agent. I just got turned down by uh, two agencies,
Mm.
and it's like, because I don't have anything current in the drama department. I have two films out right now that's on Amazon and iTunes right now. You can
What are
check
those
that out.
films? Just so we know what they are.
They're both comedies. One is a romantic comedy called Questions, that's on iTunes and Amazon Prime.
Cool.
And the other one is called The Workout Room with Joe Torre. Um, it's called The Workout Room with Joe Torre, and that's on Amazon Prime and iTunes as well, I believe. Yeah. But they're telling me to come back when I have more drama on my reel, more current drama, because I have drama, but current. And I'm like, but I need you to get that drama.
Chicken or egg.
And I believe they're saying that is because they already have a Black person
Mm.
or a few Black people,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel like that's enough.
The quota is full.
When I don't look anything like these people,
Right.
you know, the only thing we have in common is that we are Black. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like they do keep the numbers down of amount of clients that Black versus white, you know what I mean, or Latino or you know, Asian. But I haven't let that discourage me. I'm still, God, thank you for the opportunities that have been bestowed upon me. You know what I mean? I'm not complaining,
Yeah.
but it it could be better, Josh. It could be better. And to be honest, I think I get a lot of opportunity because I don't know. I'm probably going to get slack for saying this, but hey, uh, uh, it's because I'm lighter skinned.
Really?
I think I do get the opportunities because of it, because a lot of talented dark skinned actors that I know
Yeah.
aren't getting the opportunities they totally deserve. You know what I mean? And it's harder. It's hardest for us all, and especially Black females.
Right.
It's extreme.
Right.
It's extremely hard for our queens because, you know, especially if you're a dark skinned woman, you know, it's hard. But it's getting better. It's getting better. You know, a lot of things that's been happening in the social climate has, I believe, helped and it's broadening people's mind. And, you know, things are getting better. Things, I have to say, that I do see things getting better and, you know, more opportunities coming for Black people, you know,
Good.
which it's about time.
It's way beyond time.
It's 2021. It's like, what the hell took so long? You know what I mean?
Right. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really true. I've always been curious, you know. I've always been curious when I've talking with Shahid, talking with Denver Dowridge, Kimberly Brooks, whom I'm hoping to get on the conversations with working actors as well, because she's a voiceover goddess. I mean, that woman's been doing it forever. And I've always been curious. I've always wondered, what is there that we can do?
What everybody can do is as a whole is, I mean, it's just as simple as just wake up, and it's like we're all human beings here.
Yeah.
We bleed the same blood,
Yeah.
and I just think it's time that our stories, meaning Black people, uh, are told. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tired of seeing the typical stories for us. You know, when you know, we encompass so much more than just, you know, your drug dealers, your, you know. I grew up in Southside Jamaica, Queens, and Baisley Park, and that's, for those that don't know where that's where 50 Cent and Nicki Minaj come from.
Okay.
Um, and it's a real enough. It's a real tough neighborhood. Yes, there's a lot of drugs. There was a lot of killing and everything. But what people don't realize is it was set up like that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It was set up for us to not have opportunity. You know what I mean? So what I'm telling and encouraging is, we can't sit around, we meaning Black people, we can't sit around and wait for opportunity to come knocking on our door anymore.
Right.
You know, we have to create our own projects. We have to do our own project and tell our own stories.
That's right.
You know, because there's nobody else better to tell our stories than us.
That's
You
right.
know, and now we live in a era where it's easier to get your own content out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, much easier than, you know, when we were coming up. You
Right.
know,
Right.
you know. Now all you need is a camera phone nowadays. You know, you can do a whole. I just saw on YouTube, there's a guy that did a whole movie on his iPhone, and it was good.
Hmm.
You know, so I encourage, to get out there and create your own, just all races, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to not sit around and wait
Right.
just for Hollywood to come knocking at your door. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. You no Nobody's going to showcase your abilities better than you. Like if you feel like you're not getting opportunities you deserve and you feel like you're a good actor, then you need to showcase that.
Mm.
Write, produce, direct your own projects.
It feels like we're right now, people are starting to wake up and get hungry for new perspectives, you know,
Mhm.
get hungry for, oh,
They
I've
are.
never experienced this community. I want to sit and watch a show or a movie or a documentary or whatever it is about this part of this country. And it's a beautiful thing because what makes this country so beautiful is its diversity, is the
Yeah.
uniqueness of everybody's story. And that, yes, my mom's from Jersey, but I don't have any connection really to that part of the world. I grew up in the Northwest. I was a hippie kid, all that sort of thing. So for me to go, Danny, talk to me about what it was like to grow up in Jamaica, Queens. Tell
Yeah.
me a story.
It,
Make it.
it, 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 it was, it was a great, the 90s in New York was number one, is amazing era,
Yeah.
a lot of creativity, even though I grew up in a neighborhood that was, because of, it was getting bad, like around 91. Before that, my neighborhood was great. You know what I mean? It was just like any other suburb, but the crack era changed all of that, and in that, a lot of things birthed out of that. The hip hop, through all of that pain, and a lot, like jazz was created out of the same type energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I know so many talented people in Queens alone.
Mm.
You know, so many good people, so many uh, 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 so many people that you don't see portrayed on TV. Even though it's a hood, it's it still had life. It still had beauty. It still had happiness. Everything wasn't pain. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you still had fun. It's summertime, and there's nothing like it in Queens. You you walking down the street, and there's just music coming from everywhere, and uh, go to the park, and there's MCs with a DJ, and they're just giving a show, and everybody's playing basketball. There's food, there's people grilling, and you can just walk by somebody's barbecue, and they're like, "Hey, come on in." You know what I mean? Have some food. That type of energy.
Wow.
Uh, a lot of successful people have come out of the hoods and started great things, and I just think those stories need to be told, other than the typical hood stories. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a story that I'm working on, and it's basically about my childhood, growing up in Queens, and seeing things that I've seen, and still making that choice to do the right thing. You
Mm.
know, I had friends that sold drugs and everything like that, and I had the opportunity to do it. But uh, you know, mainly because of my family, and uh, I had family that were doing that as well, but they were like, I better not see you doing it. Nothing, you know what I mean? You're the talented one. You're gonna make us, you're gonna make our name live on. You know what I mean? You're gonna make that Wooten name mean something. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
they made sure I stayed out of trouble. They made sure that I was protected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but you know, a lot of people don't have that, and they end up choosing the easy way out because there are no opportunities in the hood, really. You know, you have to take that for yourself, and that's the same type of energy I have in this business. You know, I don't look for handouts. I'm willing to work hard for everything I got, and I think as a Black person, you have to work 10 times harder than everybody else. You know, so yeah.
Yeah. Man, I want to see what you're producing. I want to see what you've got coming up because I want to see your story. I want to see you as the 10-year-old kid with his tap shoes walking to class, who knows, maybe you get to play Greg, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of a Greg character. It's called Turning Pages,
Yeah.
and my character name is Page.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he has to choose between the streets and his dream. You know, it really wasn't a choice for me. That part is not real. You know what I mean? But I had that option, and it was there to take the easy way out. You know, but you know,
Yeah.
I chose correctly. I made a lot of bad choices, but that one I did good.
I've chosen wisely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
What are you watching right now?
TV wise, let me go to my list.
Yeah. Oh, right on.
So I don't forget anything. I'm watching. We just started The Capture on the Peacock network. Ted Lasso was one of I like that as far as comedy.
Great show.
We're watching Power Book 2.
Okay.
Raising Canaan. That's produced by 50 Cent, and it actually takes place in my neighborhood. So that's why he's shooting in my neighborhood, at my park, on my block, got like everything.
Oh, that's
I'm dying
to watch.
Yeah, I definitely want to roll in that. Let's see. We finished a whole lot of stuff. Perry Mason, Coyote, Loki.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
The Disney stuff. Let's see. We like that Queen of the South too.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, we're all the Shy.
Yeah. So you're catching Joel.
Yeah, which job? Yeah, I had to support Joel.
Absolutely.
Not only that, it's a good show. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Well,
there's so much to watch these days. It's hard to keep it all.
Which is great, right?
Yeah.
Oh, on Apple TV, that show C.
I don't know that. No.
Oh my God, man! Yeah, Apple Plus.
Okay.
Watch C. It's with
Everybody's Blind.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the world is blind now, and the odd people out are the ones that are being born now that can see.
Oh, interesting.
And it's so well written.
Really?
It's yeah. And another Apple TV is For All Mankind.
Okay, yeah, I haven't gotten into that one yet.
That's the space, the astronaut thing.
Yeah.
Tehran on Apple TV. We watch a lot of stuff. What have you been watching?
So we're a little bit late to the game. We're on season 3 of Handmaid's Tale.
I started watching that.
Whew. Yeah. Oh man.
That's deep.
That's a deep one.
Yeah.
We like to balance that out with some Ted Lasso because it's just, you can't help but just feel good after watching that show. you
I
know?
love it. Watch the new season. Have you started watching the new
Oh
season?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, one of my favorites is Snowfall.
Yes. How can I forget Snowfall?
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually I started watching it a year or two ago, and partway through, I was so blown away by Michael Hyatt, who plays Damson Idris's mother. Um, she's an absolute beast. She's a beast. She is half the reason I watched that show. Um, I actually reached out to her on Instagram and was like, I am falling in love with you. Like your work is so real and so honest
Yeah.
and so visceral. She didn't get back to me, but that's okay. You know, I've started just reaching out to actors that I see and just going, man, I know I'm late to the party, but I'm so moved by your work, and I just want to encourage you that there are actors out here
I
who
do the same thing. I do the same thing, man.
good, good. I think we
Yeah.
need that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially, I know they probably get it, 24/7, but
right. Do you have anything that you would want to just say to folks, say to actors on the come up, about their work, about how to, what to expect, about how to further themselves as working actors?
um, my my biggest advice, man, to the actors out there is to hang in there. Hang in there, okay? Yeah, this is a tough business, man. It is it's really tough. It's definitely not for the weak. Um, you take a lot of beatings, and the thing is to learn from those beatings and to not let any of it discourage you. You're gonna get a whole lot of no's, but all it takes is that one yes. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's just staying in it and grinding. And like I said before, is making sure you're good spiritually and mentally, making sure your mental health is good,
Yeah.
um, because this business can drive you crazy. You know what I mean? Other people's expectations on you and your needs to feel like you have to live up to that all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard, man. But if you know self and you're comfortable with self, it makes the ride a whole lot easier. It's still gonna be hard, but it'll make it easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, I love doing this, and there's nothing else in the world I would rather be doing. So I'm gonna hang in there and stick beside it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang in there until it happens, until the mission is complete.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
Man, this has been really cool to catch up with you and to see you after so long and to hear how great
Same
things
here,
are.
man. You look the same, bro.
So do you, dude. You haven't aged a day. Like seriously. Seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I might do is I might add to this our commercial, our Miller Lite spot, so that people can be like, oh my God, he has
Do
not
you have
aged.
that spot?
Yeah.
Do you have that spot?
Yeah. 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 You want me to send it to
Can you
you?
send it to me? Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Only thing different is probably our, the grays, and that's
Are you coloring?
I do. I need some just for men right about now. Yeah.
I haven't started. Can you tell? I'm like, at this point,
Yeah.
I don't know if it will work. Maybe I should. I don't know. I don't
Hey
know.
man, there's still a little dye in there. Yeah, I'm around your same speed right now.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah,
you. You
but
make it
hey,
work.
yeah. Other than that, we good. We
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Brother, thank you so much. This has really been wonderful.
Oh man, it's been great, man. And I'm gonna have to ask you to come on my show as well.
In a heartbeat. I'm in. You say the word. I'll be there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
How can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is Danny Wooten. That's spelled Danny WOO10. Kind of put a little spin to it. You know what I
I
mean?
like
And my Facebook is just Danny Wooten.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
I'm on Twitter, but I don't really do too much tweet.
yeah. Yeah. It's easy to get lost in those Twitter holes.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of lost my energy for Twitter when I saw somebody saying, on the toilet right now, enjoying my day, is something like that. And I was just like, okay, this is not the place for me, man. This is not.
Who needs that, right?
Who needs that? I did not need to know you was on the toilet right now, but okay.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Brother, thank you so much. And I look forward to catching up with you again soon. Very, very soon.
Same, brother. Same.
Be well.
Thanks for having me.
I'll let your machine get it.
This is Mike. Leave a message. Hi, this is Jim's video calling. 2 videos, Camp Cleavage and Undercover Babes, are overdue again. Please return those as soon as possible. Thank you.
Think we got a 4th. Getting the guys together? Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Camp Cleavage and Undercover Babes.